Small and micro businesses are the backbone of thriving economies and have been hit especially hard during this COVID-19 pandemic. Well, to help these businesses, Visa, through the Where You Shop Matters campaign, seeks to raise awareness of the importance of supporting local businesses in the long term and development of the local economy. The campaign will, leverages Visa's network, knowledge, and expertise to support the immediate needs of small businesses today, while helping them build the road to recovery, for tomorrow. Well, joining me now is the country manager and senior director of business development at Visa West Africa, Andrew Uwaboy. Thank you very much, Andrew, for joining us on the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
So what is the significance of this initiative for small businesses in Nigeria, especially, as countries around the world journey to economic recovery? Why is it important?
So what we did was we looked at the impact that COVID was having around the world, and particularly in Nigeria. And for us, we saw a gap that needed to be plugged. And that gap was there was a lot of shift in the way consumers were behaving. And based on that, we needed to think of a solution that could help local businesses and small businesses to be able to continue to thrive in this challenging period. So the whole idea of Where You Shop Matters is basically an initiative we're driving to help people shop locally, and to bring the value of shopping locally and how it impacts not only on the community, but to the country at large. So you find small businesses then getting visibility for their business, and by that opportunity, they can do more.
Now this impact assessment, if I would call it, that you carried out for Nigeria, what were the key findings there?
So essentially what we wanted is the thrust of the whole Where You Shop Matters, and we wanted to understand how consumer behavior is changing and how merchants, which we call small businesses as well, were evolving. And we found that about 39% of people are doing shopping more online. We also found out that about 45% of people during this last COVID period have been doing their food deliveries, paying for food deliveries online as well, and as well as drugs. 43% of people have been buying drugs online. We noticed that there was a significant decline, I think about 45% as well, for decline in people going to cafes and restaurants. So what we'd identified furthermore was that there's more people are buying more in bulk, and for them, because they want to reduce the frequency with which they go out and they go to the markets. So the whole concept of this survey that we carried out was what led to this initiative of Where You Shop Matters.
Now, since the pandemic, lots of corporate organizations, have been lending their support in the fight against COVID-19. How does your initiative stand out?
In fact, I think this initiative is at the core of what the whole pandemic support for small businesses, because what we're doing is not just giving access to small businesses to market, we're also showcasing why you should patronize the local businesses in your area, because you're growing the economy, you're growing the small businesses as well. We are also helping those organizations to have access to things that they find valuable. So it's not necessarily just having a hub which they go to register to be able to set up their businesses online, but giving them access to masterclass, giving them access to things that they find valuable. We carried out a survey, and we identified that there are certain things that this SMEs find needed. I'll give you a quick example. A lot of them are going online, they're doing business on social media, but they do not understand how to place ads. So it's not just placing ads, you need to understand what kind of ads to place to catch the right segment of customers.
All right, this initiative is supposed to teach them.
We're teaching them. We have master classes that is helping them understand how to do business online.
So how successful would you say this initiative has been? How can you measure the success? So
this initiative it came about of what we found from COVID, but the overall objective is that it's going to be a long-term initiative. And the numbers we're seeing from the stats are very impressive. In less than a month, we have over 3,000 small businesses that have registered on our platform. And this is just the beginning, and there's a second phase that is coming, and which we intend to use to drive this a lot further.
All right. Now, online shopping appeared to have increased significantly. Well, your survey actually found that during this period, the online shopping has increased. Now, do you see the trend continuing even after, the pandemic?
No doubt about it. Most definitely, so what we're also seeing, particularly with what we're doing with Where You Shop Matters, is many businesses are beginning to rethink about having physical stores. You probably would have read about some stores in the UK and other places in the world where they're closing physical stores to concentrate on online shopping because it reduces costs for them, cost of paying for stores, paying for security and all of that stuff. So we do see a longevity in this whole e-commerce evolution that is coming on.
And when you talk about online shopping, of course, you can't talk about it without talking about your cards. Now, we know that several years after the introduction of cards, the system, still faces some kind of challenges. How soon can we have seamless operations using cards?
So I think the CBN's cashless policy is one of the tools and is driving cardless transactions and card transactions in the right direction. All players in the ecosystem are determined to, as much as possible, reduce cash within the society. So all players in the ecosystem, and I'm talking about both the government and also private players, are working together to ensure that there's seamless transmission of either card transactions or contactless transactions, as the case may be, because that's where the world is moving towards.
Now, with the conversation around privacy and data sovereignty, what is Visa doing to ensure data remains, within national borders?
So there are guidelines that have been set, and we work within those guidelines that has been set by the government.
Okay. Now, do the currency volatility and exchange control rules affect the operations of Visa, for perhaps cross-border transactions?
As you would expect, a lot of people, when they carry out transactions abroad, need to leverage on what source of funds that they have, either through their bank or through whatever channels that they accessing those funds. So definitely, the rate at which you access your funds will determine how well or how much you can spend, and that impacts on the business as well.
And Nigerians tend to now move more towards instant payments. What's Visa's take on getting merchants to get instant or perhaps near instant payments? So
we are working on a number of initiatives, and one of them you begin to start to see over the next couple of months. And part of it is the contactless payments that I mentioned earlier, where you could easily, from the touch of either your card, your phone, or even your wristwatch, you can make payments, and merchants will get value almost instantaneously.
So what's the outlook for e-commerce post-COVID-19?
What we see is a trend, a new normal, like everyone says. We think that e-commerce is here to stay and is here to be for good. So you will begin to see that businesses and products will be shaped and designed with the sole aim of being driven through e-commerce platforms.
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Mr. Andrew Uwaboy.
Thank you very much for having me.
So Uwaboy is the country manager and senior director of business development at Visa West Africa.
Thank you.